Well, hi there everyone and welcome. I'm so glad you stopped by my channel today because I've got a great recipe for you. This one is so super yummy. This recipe is another meal in a jar and it's for a sour cream chicken enchilada casserole. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I have one on there already for a super easy beef enchilada casserole, and that has a red sauce with it. This one is typically made with green salsa or salsa verde. Now, you can definitely get like a little jar of salsa verde and store it next to this if you would like to add a can of that to your sour cream enchilada casserole recipe. But I found you don't really need it. I made a really good sour cream sauce with just using our green chili peppers. Now, you do need a bag of tortilla chips to store next to this. You'll add those whenever you go to cook it. But y'all, this is so good and creamy and yummy. I'm gonna have you start with at least a 24-ounce jar. I'm not gonna use one. I'm using just a pint jar because I'm gonna cheat and I'm not gonna use a lot of our Thrive Life freeze-dried chicken. I'm going to put rotisserie chicken in the dish when I make it because I have some. I went to Costco, got a rotisserie chicken, and I need to use that meat. So anyway, I'm going to build the recipe. I'm just using a jar that's not big enough, actually. But when y'all make it, use a 24-ounce jar. That's a pint and a half. And then go ahead and add all these creamy white things at the bottom. And I am going to suggest that you use our brand, the Thrive Life brand of sour cream, because it's creamy, it's not too tangy, and it's perfect. Also, I've only ever used the Judee's brand of the cream cheese powder, and it's great. Now, these seasonings, do yourself a favor and buy yourself some Goya adobo seasoning. It's terrific in here. When it comes time to do like the green layer, so we did the white layer first, now we're doing a kind of a green layer. It's an entire cup of our green chili peppers. And then just like other stuff that's green, I went ahead and put it in there because I'm going to put that in the blender and I'm going to make it into a powder because all of this stuff is going to fit a lot better in your jar if you put it in the blender. Please get freeze-dried cilantro. Don't use regular dried cilantro. Go ahead and buy the Lighthouse brand of freeze-dried cilantro. I learned that Thrive Life did acquire Lighthouse so that they could have access to their herbs. So that those are really good freeze-dried herbs. And that is going to turn into a powder and like nothing flat. All right, now I'm putting just a little bit of freeze-dried chicken in this jar, kind of like a placeholder to show you where you would put yours. But you're going to use a bigger jar than this, and your things are going to fit a lot better in the jar than they fit in mine. I went ahead and blended that pepper jack cheese because it'll fit in your jar better and it'll melt faster. So go ahead and blend it. Now watch as I try to kind of smush all these things in that jar. Yeah, it was a little too full, guys. I sort of like scraped off the top in order to fit the oxygen absorber. Oh well. Okay. The True Lime packets, you can probably store them in your jar. You should have enough room in there. I am just going to put them on top of my jar because I just don't have enough room. If you use a bigger jar and you put like a cup and a half of chicken to feed plenty of people, this will all fit if you use the right size jar. I was just trying to kind of do a shortcut here and it didn't work well. So anyway, don't be like me. Use the right size jar. And yeah, see, I'm going to just have to store my lime packets on the top. The idea here is you try it, you like it, you can assemble several of these at a time and then they'll be ready for you. So it's a lot faster process if these are just sitting on your shelf and they're just waiting for you for whenever you need them. So it cuts the prep time in half or so if these are already made. It's a lot faster. Also, get a larger pot than I did. I did not get out a soup pot that was quite big enough. It was a little tight. Everything was a little tight today, but it is really good. I promise. It's super delicious. Add about 3.5 cups worth of water. I've seen those little cans of media crema, and you could add some of that to this if you'd like to. If you want it even creamier, that would be a really good addition. Just make sure you stir it well, get you some heat going on there, and you're going to bring this to a boil. Every once in a while, just come along and stir it from the bottom because you've got cheese powders in there and they'll tend to stick. And once it comes to a boil, just crank down that heat to like a 2 or 3 out of 10 and simmer this for about 10 minutes or so. You're just wanting to melt all those sauce powders, refresh that chicken. It will thicken up as it cooks, and you're going to have just like a really creamy enchilada sauce right here. Give it a taste, see if it needs adjustment, but remember those chips you're going to add, they are salty. Go ahead and add those true lime packets. I suggest you start with 2. Stir it really well and then see what you think about the flavor. The sour cream chicken enchiladas with that salsa verde, it typically has tomatillos in there, and those are tart, so it's supposed to have a bit of a tartness to it. That's just what it should taste like. And here comes that rotisserie chicken. Y'all feel free to do that on any of my recipes. You can leave out the freeze-dried and just add some fresh. Now is the time to add the chips. So that was a 12-ounce bag of chips, and that's probably like maybe a third of the bag, and I kind of crunched them up in there. And what you're doing here is you're just making sure to coat all of those chips in the sauce. So what they're doing is they're mimicking the corn tortilla from an enchilada. This is going to give you the same flavor. It's just not going to be rolled. After you let that set for a while and simmer, those chips are going to absorb that liquid and they'll get soft, and it will thicken up this casserole, and it's going to give you something that is going to taste so much like a chicken enchilada. It's pretty amazing. Optional, you can add some more grated cheese on the top, or you could just put a little baggie of the Thrive Life freeze-dried cheese in the top of your jar and then refresh that and have it to put on the top. And so yeah, once it melts, it's ready to serve. Just look at that casserole. I tell you what, this is really good. You can serve this up however you like. We like to add some fresh sour cream, fresh cilantro, and to serve it alongside some avocado and some refried beans. I just put a little bit of a salad on the plate there as well, and some salsa. But isn't that beautiful? It just turned out so good. I think you're really gonna like this. Give it a try. Tell me what you think in the comments. Now, here's my taste test. Drew said I should just leave this in.
That's so good.
Okay, that's just what I said when I tried it for the first time. And my husband Drew, he said, you ought to just leave that in there and show people honest to goodness reaction of what you thought about the food. And I wanted to just take a second and send a special thank you to some of my amazing subscribers who take the time to encourage me almost after every single video I upload. So to Wendy and Jim and Tina and Carol, Carmen and Carrie, for Rebecca and Regina, Linda and Jerry, Karen and Cherry and Kathy, y'all, thank you so much. And if I missed you, I'm sorry, but it means the world to me when you leave encouraging comments. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay guys, I'm going to leave the full recipe and the shopping link down in the description box below, and I hope y'all give this a try. Thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate you, and y'all be blessed. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.